All right, everybody. So with our third day here, one of the biggest ways that we use to have found deal flow over the last 12 years starts at the state licensing websites for banks. Now, how I came across this. Now, last night on day two, we talked about using, day one, we talked about using LinkedIn. Day two, we talked about, pulling the lane guide lists. Well, the next list that we started pulling was going to the different licensing websites. Now, as a mortgage broker, past mortgage banker, I started thinking, okay, where could I find other information about like-minded mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers, things like that? And where do I register? How could I pull a list of my fellow compatriots? And that works very well in the note business as well, too, because I'm targeting mortgage bankers. Now, the difference between a mortgage banker versus a bank. A mortgage banker is somebody who works for a bank that's making loans. Now, a mortgage banker who's not working for a federally licensed bank has to register with the state. You've got basically to have at least 2 years in business, and they're usually to get like a line of credit from a major bank or a major lending institution. You're usually doing a certain amount of product, as part of production on a monthly basis. 5 million production a month was pretty normal. And the idea is that you're doing loans, rinse and repeat them, okay? Well, every state used to require you to get licensed in that particular state as a licensed mortgage banker, okay? Now, I'm here in great state of Texas, go Lone Star State. Texas has been one of those few states that after everything happened in 2008, 9, and 10, when the federal government and states started really cracking down on loan officers and mortgage brokers and mortgage bankers, a lot of the states transitioned to requiring people just to get a federal license, a national license, and then registering individually in that state. And that's the case. Texas has stuck by. Texas has been one of the easiest ways to get licensed earlier on as a loan officer. If you got your Group 1 insurance and health insurance license, you paid $125 a state, you could be writing loans the next day if you were signed up with a mortgage broker. All right. Now, Texas did not did not conform like a lot of the other states did in requiring everybody to go get registered at the National Mortgage Loan Originating website. They don't do that. Texas has been one of the few states out there that still has everything at the at a state level. If you're going to do business in Texas, if you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. Well, in this case, if you're going to lend in Texas, you need to be licensed and registered in the state of Texas. Okay. Now, every state has a little bit different handles, mortgage brokers, mortgage bankers. Sometimes it's the financial institutions department. In California, it's the Department of Real Estate. Here in Texas, it's called the Texas Savings and Mortgage Lending Office. It's a state office you can go to. Like I said before, most of the other states, though, have done away with their individual websites that would list the bankers. Like I went on to California today. California has 63,000 plus lenders licensed to do business in California. That's a lot, but it doesn't give any emails. It doesn't give us any contact information, just the information of the company, address, and some other stuff. What's great about Texas is Texas will give you a list of mortgage brokers, okay, mortgage bankers, yay, servicing companies, yay, and they'll give you phone numbers, emails to the license departments, and contact information, okay? And the beautiful thing that's so great about Texas is the fastest state to foreclose in the nation. It's very banker friendly. It always has been, okay? And the beautiful thing about this list is it's free to download. It's literally, you can download in minutes. And then what we do with this list is we start our drip marketing campaigns. This is what we started years ago when I found out about this list. And this list over the last 13 years has grown and tightened up as lending has gotten easier or harder. Right now, in the past few months, has gotten quite. So you're, like we said, we're going to look for mortgage bankers. Servicing companies is the next chunk of that list. And then we also look at mortgage companies. Now, mortgage companies are not the ideas because they're not really originating loans. They're not holding anything in their books. They're basically just being a broker and originating loans for other banks, other institutions. So the big two, mortgage bankers, servicing companies, are the best two off this list. Mortgage companies will sometimes find deals. it becomes a great way to kind of get the word out what we're doing, because they'll see stuff come across their books, across their desk at mortgage companies, from other banks and other things like that, other lenders out there. So it's still good to have. It's just that when it comes to our drip marketing, by drip marketing, I mean just uploading a list to your MailChimp or your email service provider. It's an email blast out there and following up with people. Now, besides just sending an email blast out to them, it's also good to track down the right department or the right person on LinkedIn, on other social medias, going to the website, inquiring about their websites, inquiring if they've got anything on their books, or trying to track down the specific person. A lot of times, the person they list here on the list are the person in charge of either in charge of the company or the person in charge of licensing. So you got to know what you're looking at. All right, I'm going to pull this up for you. I want to show you how simple this is to find. It's very simple to find. It's one of the most valuable things that you can do. And don't let anybody ever tell you that banks won't sell to you, because they will, ladies and gentlemen. Banks will sell to you all the time. They were selling to me when I had nothing and no experience years ago, and they're still looking for people to buy their distressed debt on the resi and the commercial side. And this is why it comes in really handy right now, more so than anything else, because there's plenty of banks, not only in Texas, but outside of Texas, doing business in Texas. All right. So that's one of the most important things. So I want to share this website with you. It's very simple to get to. It's not Metro Online. It's this. If you just Google Texas Savings and Mortgage Lending, it pops up the Department of Savings and Mortgage Lending. So if you click on that, that takes you to the page. Okay. Yes, it's closed. But the beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go far. It's like 2 clicks. And you're right here, download list of licensees. All right. It's that simple. We should have a drum roll for it. Very simple. So click on the download list of licensees. That takes you to this page. Then we just go straight over here to the company roster download. Click on that. If you're preparing your download file, please wait. Very simple. Gives it a second or two. And then what we'll do is we'll give you a link there you can click on, or it will download an Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to walk you through the Excel spreadsheet, okay? I see it's working here. Boom, boom, boom. It's such a beautiful thing. This is all free information out there, okay? Free information to mortgage bankers, and there's some big banks in there. Free information on servicing companies. There's a couple hundred servicing companies that are, licensed to do business in the state of Texas, all right? That's not the end all be all. Texas is still one of those states that if you have loans, you can self-service if you want to. I don't recommend it. That's why there are more servicing companies, more lenders doing business here in Texas than other places, because it is the fast foreclosure state, very friendly. And if you're holding paper, resi or commercial, you can self-service if you want. I don't, like I said, don't believe it's a good thing. But still, plenty of servicing companies. It's not the end all be all list, but it's still a pretty good one if you're going to be in the note business as far as finding deals. Okay. It's taking a little second here. There we go. Your download should start in a few seconds. Give it a link here. Like I said, and there it is. I see it here. I'm going to open this up for you guys. I'm going to hit open. I have to share my screen again so you guys can see it. And all of you can go straight there to the Texas Savings and Mortgage Lending and hit the list of licensees, and you'll be good to go. So give it a second. Let's open it up. Boom. All right. So new share. There we go. Now I have this download. Now, the total list, I don't want everybody on this list. There are some license types that I don't care about, but right off the bat, this shows you 4,308, okay, 4,308, okay, total contacts. Okay, now we want to get rid of some of these. There's some of these titles we talked about before we don't want to. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to filter this thing. All right. So I'm going, then we have auxiliary. I'm going to pick what we don't want so we can delete it. So we don't want auxiliary mortgage loan activity, credit union subsidiary, no, financial services company registration, no, independent contractor processing. We don't want those. We just want to leave mortgage banker, mortgage company, and residential mortgage loan servicer. Okay. So pick those. I'm just going to get rid of those. Boom, chakalaka, 4308. Remember, we're going to delete these rows. We're going to allow it to go back in here, hit OK. That leaves us, by removing that, that still leaves us 3,907 entities. Okay. Now let's do this. Let's rank it. We're going to re-rank it, resort it. And we're going to sort it by license type. Okay. So mortgage bankers. Let's see out of mortgage bankers. Actually, then what we're also going to do, get the status here. We're going to get rid of the ones that are expired, revoked, or voluntary surrendered. Okay. Or order to surrender. We're just going to go ahead and highlight those. Okay. Now, most of these are old. You can see over here on the right-hand status date on this is all old. Most of them aren't even close. So that's why we're just going to get rid of them. We're not in business anymore. So we're going to get rid of those. Boom, boom. So you had a lot of people come and go. All right. Spend the most amount of time you want to spend on the ones that are active. Okay. All right. That's the license type. Delete those. Okay. Now we have the ones that are active, approved or approved but inactive. Maybe they just haven't renewed their license. Okay. So, and we're going to change this to mortgage bankers. So write this number down. Mortgage bankers that are approved or approved expired. That number is a lot. That number is 416 mortgage bankers. Okay. That's a lot. 416. I want to write that down. 416 mortgage bankers. Now, the beautiful thing about this list that I want you guys to see, you have the license number. View. I'm going to actually freeze the panes. All right. Freeze the pane. So you have the license number, name, license type, status dates, whoopie-doo, authorized to do business, yes. Address, city, state. So you see you have people from all across the country doing business here. If they're not just in Texas and they're in other states, you can bet they're in other states doing deals or lending in those states as well. So when you contact these guys and gals, contact these entities with an email, it's just not for stuff in Texas. It's stuff for everywhere. Hey, what do you have on your list? Because most of these mortgage bankers aren't just going to be in Texas. They're going to have other states. And that's what's so valuable is getting on their list. Okay. So you got a phone number and then a fax number. Who uses fax? I don't get that. But anyway, and then an email. Now, the email, you'll see a lot of this is like licensing at Summit Mortgage or NMLS licensing at New Day. You'll say, okay, fine. But then you start having compliance or licensing. But then you start seeing some names. A. Miller, S. Bateman, S. Fass, Papa Zarili. I don't know how to say that. But you start seeing Jennifer Mulder. Okay. Mulder. Alicia Huling. You can get some names on here. Now, the licensing emails, there's a lot of them. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of licensing stuff, but that's okay because it's still an email that you can send. And I would almost split the licensing emails off in a separate email that you can follow up with, hey, I know this is the licensing. I'm trying to track down your special servicing or secondary marketing, okay? Or your chief credit risk desk. But 416, that's a lot, okay? If you made 50 phone calls a day, it would take you 8 days, basically 2 weeks, really 3 weeks, because you only want to be calling on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 50 phone calls, it'd take you 8 weeks to get through them. You know what I mean? Is that right? No, sorry, 3 weeks, 8 days, 10 days to get through them. But it'd be well worth it because there's some big names on here. There's some big lenders on here, all right? And now you got an in to calling. And I've made some of these phone calls and had great conversations with them and gotten some either one-off stuff or even some larger pools or gotten on their list where every month they had something, I was the first guy or gal that got it. Of course, I'm the guy. That's how I identify. But you get what I'm saying. That's just mortgage bankers, 416. Let's go to the next one. Servicing company, residential mortgage loan servicers. Why are those important? Because servicing companies, they're the company that is basically doing the borrower outreach. They're working with the investors. They've got a variety of investors like you and me or bigger firms that they're handling business for. And you want to reach out to the residential loan servicers, not just the licensing, but the person in charge of business development here. And as far as the residential mortgage loan servicers, let's see how many are on here right now for this month. This number always changes. Boom, 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 boom. 209 loan servicers. Okay. That's a lot of loans that they're doing. Okay. And they're not doing stuff. You see they're licensed outside of state, you jump on their website, take a look what states they're doing. But this is a great way to find a lot. You're going to find servicers that are handling this for first liens, hard money loans, stuff like that as well too. But still, well worth it to search just those two alone. That's 625 contacts there. All you need is a few of them to send you stuff on a regular basis. But like, that's what I'm trying to get at, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need a huge amount of low-hanging fruit to send you stuff. These are places and entities that most people aren't reaching out to. Most note investors are waiting for the lists or going to paper stacks or the other domains that we'll talk about that they can go to and look at stuff, but it's all low-hanging. That's the stuff that's been picked over. This stuff is fresh. It's so fresh and so clean. It's non-spoiled. Plus, you're direct to the seller a lot of times, or the originator, so they know what's really going on. This has been a very valuable list for me in the last 13 years. Now, the final list, final chunk of people on here are mortgage companies. So they're probably not going to have a lot, but it's still worth to add them to your list to reach out to them on a drip marketing campaign. By drip marketing, once or twice a month, they get an email from you just for the heck of it. You're going to have the biggest number of opt-outs on the mortgage company license site. It's also going to have the most amount of contacts on there. Because you remember, we were at, was that 3,000 some odd contacts? Mortgage companies here, 1,621 mortgage company licenses that are approved or volunteer. That's still a lot. But there are some names on here, mortgage companies that I know that have notes. Jet Mortgage. That is, I thought of Houston, if I remember correctly. Frisco, Texas, my bad. Jet Mortgage. They have stuff, okay? JT at jetmans.com, all right? But you're going to see, if you're looking through this, you're going to see some Gmails. That's probably the person in charge of license, person in charge of the company. With these mortgage companies, it's a lot of brokers, but still it's worth putting on there, because when you surround yourself or are networking with more people in the mortgage industry, hey, do you have a lender's got any non-performance if you're looking to get rid of? So I would separate these into 3 lists. You have your mortgage company, all right, which was how many again? 600 and some odd, right? I forgot to write that number down. Go back up there, 618 page up. Oh, it was 1,200. Sorry, it wasn't 600. It was 1,621. I knew there was a 6 in there. And people are lending, okay? And that's the biggest thing. They are in basically all states. You can map these. I would still reach out. It's just good to surround yourself with people. So I would spend most of my time, if you're going to be dialing for dollars, call the mortgage bankers, okay? Then I would call the servicing companies and actually speak to somebody in charge of business development and ask if hey, do you have anybody that you guys service for who has some notes they're looking to move this quarter? We'd love to talk with you and have you retain servicing, okay? That has worked well for me in the past. I found portfolios that way, 50, 20, 10, 100 that we could pick up and, make some nice chunk of change, either performing or non-performing or a mixture of both, okay? So that's what I would do. I would take the emails, drop them into MailChimp. If you've got a brand new email account, upload 100 at a time, a list of 100 at a time. So you'd have technically 4 lists of mortgage bankers. Send an email out once to them individually, and then you can combine those lists together after the first email and then send to, one email to all 416 versus 100 at a time. But what I will be doing for you guys, for those that are our gold or our VIP, you will be getting this list emailed to you tonight. So you've got that as well. And it's an extra little bonus. We've already done the work for you to kind of separate it up there for you. All right. And one of the things that we'll do also at the end of the 20 days, we'll be sending scripts and emails for you to basically what you can copy paste and send in an email and send out the list as well for you. So some kudos and goodies for our VIP members. I wanted to open up for questions if you have any questions about this Texas Savings and Mortgage List. This is an easy thing that each and every one of you that are watching this, that are on here with me or catching the replay, you can download. You can put this to work today. and you can send them an email to go out at any time, even if you've got to work. I don't care if you've only got 5 hours a week to put towards your side hustle, or an hour a week, or 30 hours. This is one thing that should be added to your weekly or monthly marketing. You should be sending an email at least once a month to asset managers. And this is a great way when you combine this with the lane guide list that we talked about last night. You could literally have, if you count these numbers up, over 2,200 contacts just like that you send out to. And I would send out the marketing company, to the mortgage company, sorry, not marketing, mortgage companies last. I would send it to the mortgage bankers and the servicing companies first, and then add 100 mortgage companies a month to it, and just see what's going on. I mean, some of these emails are going to be bad because people change emails, but still, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get a hold of deals, this is a way to do it. Now, for those that are looking for REOs, oh my gosh, the mortgage bankers and the servicing companies, great way to reach out to find REOs. Hey, do you have any of your clients have any REOs that are looking to get off their books? Have you had to take anything back that you want to get rid of? So I want to open it up for questions for those that are on here. Lots of great stuff here. I have been using this list. I literally download this list just about every month pretty much for the last like 8 years. And it's changed and flows. I'm so thankful Texas has kept it where it's open for that compared to other states. Other states like California used to be able to call in, order used to become a CD-ROM, or it actually came to me one time as a 3-inch floppy, and then it came as a CD-ROM, then it came as a thumb drive. Now I don't know. I reached out to them today a couple of times. You can do an Excel download, but it doesn't have the names or emails or phone numbers, so it's kind of worthless, okay? But this just takes time. It's like with any drip marketing campaign, the more you're in front of things, there's people that have been getting my emails for 2-3 years from this list, and not longer too. They started calling my emails the green emails, all right? The green emails. We actually had at Note Camp in the middle of the year, we have our mid-year event called Note Camp. And I've had several of the guys that have spoken on the special asset manager side I met from this. Todd Billings is an example out of Florida. US Debt Ventures was on here. And he would get my emails. He called it the green email. He would call me once a month, and we would look at what he had. And all you need is one relationship from this to make it worth your while. Okay. And it's well worth it to do it. And trust me, it's an easy way when you combine it with the lane guide. You've got a pretty enough good email list there to reaching out and going from there. Okay. Questions before we move on to our next lesson? You could dial for dollars off this if you want to. I would start it off with an email blast to those two lists, and then dial for dollars of those that open the email. Because with your CRM or email service provider, you'll be able to see, send it out on a Tuesday, look at on Thursday, and start dialing for dollars off of those that open the email between Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. And one of the later lessons, we'll talk about what to dial, what to say, and how to follow up as well. But this is an easy list for you guys. Prime that pump. At least 600 of these, 625 great contacts for you to have in your database. And the others, who knows what's going to happen to those mortgage companies. But I guarantee anybody who's originating right now, they're starting to see stuff. And it's important, whether you're looking for first liens or even junior liens, reverse mortgages. You definitely want to start marketing. This is one of the easiest ways to get the word out on what you're doing. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? That's the lesson on the fine side for day 3 here. Use it. Texas Savings and Mortgage Lending. Do that search. Do the download list of licensees. Clean up the list a little bit and get rocking with either drip marketing or dialing for dollars. And it's one of the best ways. Don't do any direct mail to this. Not worth it. Do an email blast and follow up with a phone call for those that open your emails. Okay. All right, day 3 of the fund is we're going to talk about how to find investors literally in almost every county, in your backyard in some cases, by looking at on the appraisal districts, the county appraisal districts out there across the country. Now, this is a tactic I've been using for quite a few years. It is the easiest way to finding investors to pull the trigger. Literally, such an amazing thing to find money. And I think you guys are going to love this. Okay, so a little bit of the philosophy behind this. As a property investor, if you're looking to see what properties somebody owns in an area, you go to the county, right? The county appraisal district, and you type in their name. a lot of times, or their LLC name, right? Well, with self-directed IRA investors, when they're buying a property, a self-directed IRA is somebody who's got an IRA account that they can use to purchase real estate, not a self-directed IRA from like equity, AG Edwards or Charles Schwab or anything like that, or Chase Bank. A self-directed IRA investor is going to use a company like Quest Trust, Pensco, Mid-Atlantic. There's a lot of them out there. And what I love doing is tracking who use these investors who have used their self-directed IRA to fund the property purchase. Okay. And there are roughly, I mean, every county you can do this search for the most part. Some counties will require you, they won't allow you to buy a company name or a borrower's name. They want you to have the address. And in those states, I'm sorry, there's another way to get around it. But there are over 50 now. I don't even have the whole list, but I got a big chunk of 50. Self-directed IRA custodians and trustees like the Quests, the Mid-Atlantic, the IRA Services. You could Google the names on Facebook, just type that in, and it'll give you a whole list of companies out there. Those are technically the owners. Because when I buy a property with my IRA, it's not saying Scott Carson or Inverse Asset Fund. What it says is Quest Trust, FBO, for the benefit of Scott Carson. Now, somebody's asked me, well, Scott, can't you just search for FBO? And the answer to that is no, that's too generic, doesn't work. You have to do an individual search for Quest or Equity Trust or Pensco or Mid-Atlantic, but it becomes very valuable depending on where it's at. Now, the great thing that you know about these investors are these things, okay? One, they're real estate investors, because normal people don't know about a self-directed IRA most of the time, okay? Somebody who is knowledgeable and is a true investor. They also, guess what, have money. And they're investing on a passive basis for the most part, because when they use their self-directed IRA to purchase a property, based on the rules of it, they can't go out and mow the lawn. They can't go out and fix it. They've got to have either a contractor or third parties that handle it. Or they can't handle that. Otherwise, it would be self-dealing. It's not an arm's length transaction. So you know that if they're using this to finance a rental property or something they're doing on a passive basis. As I said before, they're educated. They've been to real estate workshops, seminars, conferences. They understand the power of this. So guess what? They're perfect for helping you fund your transaction, fund your deal, whether it's a note deal or a property deal. Or if you've got a deal in their backyard. We're working on a deal right now with a couple people on a portfolio of notes. We're trying to put on an option agreement with a lender, not a bank, but a hedge fund. And one of the tools that we're going to use is they approve our contract with them. The first thing that we're going to do is jump on the county records in the counties and the cities of these notes. And we're going to be reaching out to IRA investors. Hey, I got a deal in your backyard. I got a deal that you can pick up with your IRA in the backyard. It'll be like shooting fish in a barrel. Okay. And more importantly, we all know all investors are always looking for more deals. Now, it may not be the ideal. They may not want a fix and flip. They may not have money left in their IRA, but most of the time we find that IRA investors have money elsewhere besides just their self-directed IRA, savings, checkings, line of credit, other properties that they've made money on. It's a great, that those four things make this like the easiest conversations you're going to have when raising capital. Hey, I see you're a real estate investor. Are you looking for more deals? Yes, I have a deal in your backyard. Let's talk. It literally becomes like that. Okay. It's a very, very easy conversation. And how we do this one website. You want to save this into your favorites because you're going to use Netra Online. You're probably already using it to check the county records, check taxes, check values, check the clerk's office. Okay. Every county office in one spot. You don't have to try to go find it. You can go to one spot in every county office in one spot. And I'll walk you through how we do this. Okay. You can find the county appraisal districts and the county clerks, so the taxation offices, all the county offices when it comes to real estate by going to Netra Online. Most of the counties allow for you to search by the borrower or the owner's name. Now, if you're in California, I'm sorry, they don't allow that. Some counties like Detroit or Wayne County require subscription. Okay, you got to pay monthly for download it. That's okay. Now, with California, if you do go to the local county, you go in person, they'll allow you to search by name, but they don't do it through Netra Online. Okay. Now, what's also really nice, and this is, as I like to say, the win-win here, is a lot of counties well, let me rephrase it. Some counties, I won't say a lot because it could be construed differently depending on what counties you look at. Some counties allow you to download the full list. Like literally in minutes, you can download 700 IRA investors in one county that are looking, obviously that fall into this. It's brilliant. You know what do you do? Guess what you do? When you download the list, and we contact them via mail. It's the only direct mail that we do is to IRA investors. If you know who they are, they give you the name. And we'll show you this. You can see their name on either the download list or by looking at county records, you get a first name and last name. You can search for them. A lot of times we found emails or social media profiles or found them on LinkedIn that we'd reach out to and connect with. And that's an easy conversation that didn't cost you anything. Like I said, it's the only direct mail that we do. And usually what we'll do is send out a postcard or a direct letter to them. And we get a high response rate, not 1 to 4% like most people with direct mail. We're talking 20% response rate, and it's not greater. I've had some that were like 65% direct response rates because people responding really well. In other counties, it just varies a little bit. But this is the only direct mail that we send. Otherwise, it's contacting the free sources on email, social, or LinkedIn. And we'll send, include sample letter with it. But I want to go through this with you guys and gals out here. I already have pulled up. So here's Netra Online. Let me make sure and share my screen. I encourage you to ask questions. All right. So this is Public Records Online, netraonline.com. All right. So if I click on access Public Records Online, click on this. And it'll pull up a map of the United States. So just pick on a state. So let's say Ohio. Let's do Ohio there. Takes us over here. We pick we're in state, so we'll then pick the county. So let's do Hamilton County. That's, I believe, is Columbus, right? All right, so we have the county recorder, treasurer, probate office, auditor. Let's do the auditor. Click on that. And here we go. So you can see, select a search method, street address. Well, you don't know the property address, okay? Oh, sorry, Hamilton County, Cincinnati, my apology, not Columbus. So what we'll do is click on owner search here. And Ohio is the state of the largest self-directed IRA company out there, Equity Trust right now, okay? So we'll type in equity. Oh, look, I've already searched for Equity Trust. I will hit search. Drum roll, please. Now, 215, let's go ahead and change this from 10 to 100. So 215 now gives me the name, the address, and I know this is all Cincinnati County. So that's the beautiful thing. I can literally do a mail merge very easy by just copying and pasting these over. Now, of course, I don't have their names, right? So I could do just an email or a mail out to these, which is one of the things I would do. But if I wanted to find a little bit more, so I can see like this, and Ray of Hope Realtor, like this one, Equity Trust Company Custodian for the benefit of John H. Martindale IRA. And I see the address that he bought, 6584. All right. Owner name and address. There we go. Mailing address is 2229 Richmond. Sorry, South Richmond Street, Richmond, Indiana. There we go. All right. And there's a picture of the property. So you could literally do an email or a letter campaign with a picture of the property. And hey, would you like to do that? I've seen that happen before in some of our deals. But there you go. It assesses only 20 grand. Whoopie-doo. It's not that big a deal. Or the last sale amount was 57,000. They bought this for back in December of 2019. Okay. So I would look, let's look at this. Let's look John Martindale out of Richmond, Indiana. Maybe he's deceased, who knows? But that's just one person. You know what I'm saying, everybody? You go back over here and let's look at one that doesn't have the name to it. So we click on their equity trust company, click on this one. And it's just the same thing. Doesn't give us a name or anything like that. That's okay. But you see the house, okay? And the name of the company is going to be mailed to 2925 Portsmouth Avenue. Well, that's not the right address for equity trust. Most people should be having their mail go to the equity trust address, but that's okay. That's why it works in our favor. Okay. So that's a beautiful thing right there to send to. Now, a lot of times you may even be able to find if there's a deed image. Some in different kinds of deed. This may not have it, but that's okay. But we've got the information that we need. Cincinnati, Ohio, 45208. Not much, you know, they bought this, the land, it's worth about 40 grand, but that's still, hey, that's not bad. I will take 40 grand. And you see they did the county appraisal. So it looked like they had daycare there. Okay, fine. They got a daycare going there. But that's what I would do. I would send the letter. And this letter, oh, that's from April 2000. They don't have anything sooner. That's okay. But still, that's a beautiful thing. You see, you got picture of the property. You got a mailing address. You don't have a name, but that's okay. You mail it to the mailing address, say equity trust or property owner. It saves you a lot of time to do that. Or you do a little deep search by going to the deed rolls. Now, that's one county. And we found how many? 215 in less than a minute. Okay. Don't tell me that's not valuable, because that's valuable. 215 like that in one county. Let's go back here to Ohio and pick a different county. Okay. So let's do Franklin County. Same thing, click on the auditor. Same thing by owner search. Let's type in equity trust. Search. Boom, shakalaka. 368. Woo! So we had 215. 368. So in 5 minutes, we found 583 investors that you can mail to. Same thing. You got the address, you have the owner's name. Does this give you the download of this Excel? Let you do this? I want to say somewhere on here I see it. Change it to 100 to 50 per page. Either way, you just do copy paste. You could do this. Oh, I saw this somewhere. Search. There we go. So we got 50 to page. Same thing. Click on these ones, hire a VA to jump on this and take a look at it. And guess what? That's a beautiful thing there. Just like that, 573 investors. Let's do one more county, should we say? All right. Now, this is Ohio. That's what I love about Ohio. There's a lot of IRA investors up there. All right. Let's go back here. Whoops. I must have clicked off of that. Sorry. Share my screen again. But you see why I love this? I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's look at Lucas County. I think that's Indiana. Indiana's a different state that I like at. Oh, hang on. My mouse is doing something strange here. Oh, Lucas County, Ohio. Here we go. Same thing. Let's look at the auditor. Let's do it by the owner. Equity trust. Search. This has only 169. I know it's the least one. It's only 169. I'm so sorry about that. All right. But that's, you see the total value on that stuff, which is okay. And you can change it to 100 per page. Search. Okay. Boom. But like that, you've got everything. right in one freaking spot. And it's like shooting fish in the barrel, same thing. The address, the person names, if you click on this, you go back one at a time and see if it gives you a name. Equity Trust Company, Custodian, FBO, Andrew Fiddler IRA, who's out of, guess what? Toledo, Ohio. Okay. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. 169, 368, 215, 6, 7, it's over 800 investors, just like that in roughly 10 minutes. And I love this thing. Now, if you got a name, guess what? That's what I would reach out to. I looked up, you know where they're at. I would look for Andrew Fiddler, Toledo, Ohio. You've got the property address. You've got the mailing address right there in, I'm sorry, Monclova, Ohio, 3836. But you don't need, I mean, what we have found is the average 67% of people that have an IRA have more than 150 grand into it. Okay. How many people do you need to have say yes, okay, to have you raise $1 million or $2 million? Now, it's always best to raise capital in warm markets. We'll talk about that later on. But this is if you've already burnt that conversation and you like to reach out to investors, this is pretty easy. What do you send? You send a postcard. Hey, let's put your IRA to work. Say, saw that you bought a property in Lucas County. Want to talk? Are you looking for more deals? I've got deals in your neck of the woods. Okay. So that's the beauty of this. If you just search on, and this is something, like I said, each of you can do it anytime. Doesn't have to be 9 to 5. You can jump on Netra Online, whether it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 a.m. in the morning, and do the same list. And I don't care if you're not investing in Ohio. There's other states out there, but people are looking for deals. And it's just reaching, hey, I saw that you bought a property, so you're not, are you looking for more deals? And by looking for more deals, that's not saying, hey, do you want to fund my deal? It's literally say, hey, if I've got some deals I'm looking for, so you use your self-directed IRA, do you want to partner up? Or hey, do you want to fund my deal? Or if you're going to get a 506B or get a Reg A or put a fund together, this is a great way to raise capital pretty easy for you. And how do I know? Because that's what we're doing. We're using these lists like that we pull in counties. I've hired VAs to do this, and we are putting together a major spreadsheet of the people in the areas that we can find on. All right. Now, if you're in an area like California, I'm sorry, you can't search online like that, but you can go down, like I said, the local office and search if it's open. Or otherwise, we'll be talking about later on how you can buy lists of IRA investors in every city and county out there. But this is one of the most valuable things that you can do for your business. You just have to reach out. You got to follow up. You can't just send one list of 50 and expect for it to follow up. This is a list that if you put something together on a regular basis, you might want to buy a bunch of postcards from Vista Print or Postcard Mania or another direct mail service to help you get the word out. This is valuable because you know they're high target, they're really right in your wheelhouse for what you're looking for. Educated people who have bought deals before, looking for more deals to fund, and they have money to fund. All right, they understand the value of it. If anything, this not only builds you a good buyers list, but also a good investors list, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Sylvia, where do you make your list on Octopus Excel Word? What have you found to be the best or easy to organize? Okay, so you don't have these people's emails. Okay, you don't even know if they're on LinkedIn yet, so you can't use Octopus on this, Sylvia. Octopus CRM is going to work based on a search that you do on LinkedIn. Okay, so what I do with this list is I just put it in Excel, and then I give it to my VA and say, listen, here's our list. I need you to go, city, state, copy, paste it over. Once you pull that list, go on over, look at where they're at, and search it. Sylvia Hostetter. If I see that you're in Austin, Texas, I'll say Sylvia Hostetter, Austin, Texas, trying to find the information. And that's how we organize this. Is a spreadsheet, a Google Doc, something simple that you guys can use. I wouldn't use Word. I would use an Excel list because then you can separate it up. And by having an Excel, then you have a mail merge that you can send out to. Okay, but you don't need many. Like we just pulled that list of 800 in just a few minutes there. So if your county allows for it, I would be searching in your local county first. If your county doesn't allow it, then I would go to the counties that you're buying in, or you're looking to invest in, or you've got relationships in, or counties that you travel to, and that would be good. Here's a little thing that I did a few years ago. When we 2 years ago, we were doing our mastermind down in Cape Coral, Florida. So I pulled this list off of Lee County, Lee County, pulled the list, and we dropped postcards and mailers out to it. Now I had 50 people coming together at Cape Coral Florida Mastermind, but we had 20 IRA investors who got my postcard the week before the event, RSVP'd on the meetup group we created for it, and they came to the event. That might be something you want to do. Hey, if you're an IRA investor, join my meetup group, or get my free book, or here's my deal flow, or go to my website and register. I'd love to talk with you, or send a Calendly link in your postcard or in your email. Just whatever you are comfortable with. You want to keep this simple, very simple spreadsheet, names, addresses. Worst case, you could basically pull the lists, addresses, and do a mail merge and send out do a mail merge in Word, sending out with information, and just say, keep it short and sweet. Hey, Sylvia, I saw that you bought this property in Milwaukee and you use your IRA. I'd love to talk with you. We're investing in that neck of the woods. We always have deals, and I'd love to visit with you, see if you're looking for more deals or looking to find some stuff, and I'd love to talk. Here's my information, and go from there. Okay. Just, you have to put these lists. It's not hard. I'm sure many of you guys right now are like, I'm already looking at my county. Okay. If it's not in your county, then look at other counties you're investing. Like very popular counties for notes, Ohio. Anywhere in Ohio, you're going to find a list like that. Another popular county is Harris County, because that's the home office of Quest IRA. Okay. If you do, let's do that real fast. Let's do a quick search here. Self-directed IRA custodians. If you do that search, share my screen. Now, if you've missed the calls, missed day 1 or day 2, just go to my YouTube channel, WeCloseNotes.tv. You'll see them on the most recent videos we've uploaded, or you should have gotten an email with me, or you should see the replays actually uploaded into the Facebook group. So if you have not joined the Facebook group, do so now. And that way, when we upload the replays, they'll be there for you. But literally, if we go to and just Google self-directed IRA custodians, you scroll down a little bit, there should be the ultimate list of self-directed IRA custodians. And there you go. Boom, right there. All in alphabetical order for you. You see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? It is like shooting fish in the barrel if you know how to market and how to reach out to things. Okay? Looking to raise capital, one of the most valuable things you can do is doing this. Easy conversations. There are other investors just like you, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, like I said, they've pulled the trigger. They've got money to invest. You don't have to educate them on the merits of real estate or notes or passive investing. And this is a great thing for you to do. Okay? Any other questions, comments, concerns before we wrap up this episode here on our Note Investing Challenge? How many of you are already like Googling Netra Online for your county? I guarantee some of you are already doing that, right? But that's the point. We go through so much stuff in one day, and everybody does this too. If you're ever teaching a workshop, you can't cover everything about funding in one day. You would like to, but there's so many little things, and this information is just free. I know that I've seen this specific thing taught in a class for $1,500 before. And I was like, why? It's free information. Just people know about it. Make it a value add to something else. So hopefully you found this valuable for you. If you'd like some more insight, you're having trouble with a county, feel free to email me at scott@weclosenotes.com. You're going to look for the or the auditor for the most part in the first part. I know on day 5, we'll pop into the county clerk and how you can find people who have lent money out of their IRA doing the same thing too. So stay tuned. And we look forward to seeing you guys all at the top, everybody. But have a great evening, good day, good afternoon, good morning. And thanks for being on here tonight, everybody.